Hey.
Hi, it's Rosie Batista, and I'm here for Possibility Partners, which is a group that we started, a show that we started, my co-host Andy Lyons, right down below, for entrepreneurs who feel like they're out there alone. And we offer tips, tools, and resources for the entrepreneur so that you can see that no matter what age or stage you are, you can do whatever you dream up doing. So here we are today with the amazing, we nicknamed him Yoda, but you're not going to be able to tell that right now because he's in disguise. But he calls himself a GooTube, GooTube.com, GooTubePlus.com, so which I find very intriguing. And he's also RonnieBincer.com, and he's also Ronnie Bincer. And what I love about Ronnie is he's a trainer, a teacher, an expert in this really amazing platform called Google Plus. So welcome, Ronnie, and we're going to spend about 20 minutes with you now picking your amazing brain about Google Plus and other things. Are you ready? You
I
got your thinking
am.
cap on, I think.
I've got my thinking cap on. I
Good.
made a special hat. In fact,
Good.
my wife made the special hat just for this show.
Is that part of your brand, that hat?
It kind of is because it's part of my avatar or my picture, my profile pic here on Google Plus.
So which came first, the hat or the avatar?
The avatar for sure. And see, what's the deal is I have a YouTube red play arrow behind my head because that helps identify for those that understand video that I
Yeah.
focus a lot on video. But lots of people said to me, hey, that looks like a Santa hat, right? The little red arrow, for them, it looked like a Santa hat.
Ah,
So I decided, okay, Christmas time, I'm going to put on another hat to make sure they know it's not a Santa hat. And I decided I didn't want red on red, so I made green.
I love it. Awesome.
We want to personally, Rosie and I want to personally thank you for jumping in with our whole accessory theme, Ronnie, because it's all about accessories here at Possibility Partners. I
I've
mean,
heard that, yes.
yeah, we're broads talking business, but we also wear boas and other fun things
Me
to
too.
keep it
Because
lively and keep it interesting.
right, and because to remind us that, in business we work really, really hard, we're working often, we're thinking often that we could have fun with it too. I mean, that's the whole point of being an entrepreneur is to have fun with what you're doing, right?
Hmm.
So I want to ask you, I was fooling around on RonnieBincer.com, which is an amazing site because I was just like so amazed at all the information you offer, at all the how-to posts that you have. But I also saw this talking dog. So tell me about that dog.
Well, that's what we were talking about, Victor. Victor, the video SEO hound, is the dog. And that was sort of the brand. Prove yourself to be seen. There you
We're
go.
still live. A great learning
Yay!
opportunity.
There's nothing better than having, like, we just have to carry you around with us like a little elf.
Now, I'm going to
We
refresh
actually,
because I want to make sure that we're live because it looks like we are, but I'm going to try to verify that
okay.
on
Oh, I
the.
love that we
Yeah,
had this
we're
great
back live
learning.
now again.
Don't you, Rosie?
I love that.
All right. So we just rescued this Hangout from obscurity. It kind of went away, and now we're back. And honestly, I don't know how much of what our conversation was recorded. So
Right.
let's just pretend that didn't happen, and we're back. So you're on.
Okay, you're on. Okay, so RonnieBincer.com has a talking dog. So
Yes.
that's it, brand that you
That
kind
was
of,
that was the face behind the brand because I didn't have this adorable hat, and I just didn't think people wanted to see my face, so I made my dog talk. And the dog did a couple things for me. It made people that were interested in my content remember it because it's not that often you see a talking dog.
right.
And secondarily, it made me spend hours and hours and hours making every single video because the dog, don't tell anyone, the dog doesn't normally talk. So I had to do some special tricks to do that. And so every video I made took a lot of time and effort. So
Mm.
after those things combined, and then Google Plus came out, and I'm trying to keep this short because we're going to run a little out of time. I decided, you know, what's more important is my ability to make videos quickly and more efficiently. So I had to sort of let Victor go to the side for now and make my quicker videos with my face. And also, there's a thing that Google Plus lets you do called authorship, and it's really nerdy, but the bottom line is the dog doesn't have the ability to have authorship where Ronnie Bincer does. And so that was sort of the kicker that made me change it so that Ronnie Bincer is now the face. And the dog, unfortunately, is sort of around, but not on screen as often.
So Google Plus forced you as the person behind the scenes to come out, like Google Plus does that. You have to be your brand, really.
I came out from behind the dog. Yep.
It doesn't like pages. It likes people.
That's right.
So
and we just experienced that. I mean, right now, we just experienced, I'm not sure how much is visible in our video, but we just lost, this Hangout is being broadcast as a page, and we just lost part of the process, and we're able to get it back, but it was a little tricky.
Yeah. So what made you become such a fan? You were a video guy, right? Mm-hmm. And now you married that with Google Plus. Why are you such a fan of this platform?
I was a video SEO guy, and what that means is search engine optimization. So I was using video to make things show up on search engines, and when Google, who owns Google Plus, decided to come out with Google Plus, I was all over it because I understand how search works. And so that was my key motivator to get into here, because honestly, my world and SEO and social didn't play well together until Google Plus. Now they play well, incredibly well.
So if you could say one thing to the entrepreneur, like the person that doesn't know anything about Google Plus, or saying like, well, why would I want to even be like hanging out and stuff like that? What is the one thing that you would say? What is so important about this platform?
I'd say the most important thing is look at the first part of the name in Google Plus. If you understand that Google matters to your business, then you need to be on Google Plus.
Wow, that's a nice soundbite. Thank you.
That's perfect.
Hey, Andy, Rosie.
Yes.
Ditto in what Ronnie says. I found Ronnie. I didn't know Ronnie. I met Ronnie through Victor, and
the dog.
And that's the first. I didn't know Ronnie. I met Victor before I knew Ronnie.
Who do you like better? I'm not gonna
Honesty,
say.
I think, you know, I think that Todd likes Victor better because he keeps asking about Victor.
Yeah.
But
Victor's cool. Victor's cool. but the point is that through Google Plus and through Google, I found Ronnie, and so I didn't know Ronnie existed before that, and I was on Google Plus, but because we're both on Google Plus, I found Ronnie through search, and from that association, I was able to expand my Google Hangout, my Google audience. So, but it's all happened because of what Ronnie put in place through Google Plus.
That's
fantastic.
awesome. And Ronnie, you have so much content. I mean, it's like so much stuff that people could navigate through and read, so much stuff for free. And I know most entrepreneurs out there are like, I don't want to give away all my stuff. I'm going to give away all my secrets, and like, who's going to pay me? So how do you feel about that? You give a lot of stuff out there, and you have people following you because of it. So how do you feel about too much?
It's a great question, and it's one I sort of struggle with, and I am working on adjusting a little bit of that. So here's the model that I'm trying to follow. One, I'm trying to establish myself as an authority in the topic area. And to do that, I think in the social realm, you got to do it for free. I don't think you're going to be able to do it and charge money for it right away. Once I've become established as someone who is a authority within a certain realm, then I think I can start asking for someone to help me pay for the knowledge work that I've been doing. Because literally, I've been spending way more hours than you'd like to know researching and keeping track and alerting people about all these changes that keep going on. And there's a lot that keeps changing because it's just constant. So I've created a new place, which I'm going to put down here. Did that show up?
Yep.
Yeah. That go2plus.com/masterclass. There's a couple reasons why I've made that. One is to bring people into a more intimate place where I can actually do one-on-one, meet people more intimately. And the second is to bring in paid content eventually. And some of that paid content is going to be Hangouts, where we basically hang out and talk about the latest thing that Google just did and why that matters. Because you can only type so much. It's so much easier to ask a question from the expert and get an answer direct about your specific situation. So that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be doing in that masterclass environment. And until Google Plus allows us to monetize for our content on Google Plus, I think you still need to go the traditional route, which is what I'm trying to do here with the masterclass thing. I'm gathering emails, and I'm starting to send them out, invitations to go to a password-protected area where they see some extra stuff that I don't have anywhere else, and then eventually it grows to what I would call masterclass inner circle chats, where we're going to be doing this stuff regularly.
Awesome. So if you could give one, like really, the most important tip about using Google effectively, what would that be? I know there's like one tip is like, but if you could narrow it down, like, okay, they need to take one thing, like what would that be?
When you say Google, I'm assuming you mean Google Plus?
I do mean that.
Okay.
I'm looking at the little plus sign. Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay. I would say, gosh, one tip.
I know that's hard.
I would, well, there isn't, gosh.
How about build an audience, Ronnie? And,
Well,
and build an audience within your find people in Google Plus that do what you do, and it's easy in Google Plus.
All right, let's do. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I will do it because I tend to go down to the detail level really quick, and I probably shouldn't with that. The one tip I would say would be engage with people on Google Plus.
And so if I'm coming to Google Plus, I don't quite understand even. And I know there's a lot of people. They're like, well, where do I find people? How do I get people? How do I do that?
Sure. Yeah, and that's key to engage, because you engage with people you don't want to engage with. It's stupid for you. I mean, you're not going to stay here. So you need to find people that have a similar interest as you, and so that's where you start doing searches. And Google Plus is a search field, and if you like talking about boas, right? You type in the word.
Could you tell? Of course we do.
You type in boas or style or something like that.
Green Christmas hats.
Green Christmas hats, right? And you see who shows up, and then you look at their posts, and you decide, you know what, this one's interesting, and so you add them to your circles. Or even before you add them to your circles, you say, yeah, that one's kind of cool. I'm going to add a comment to their post and see if they interact back. And the places that you get interaction, that interact back with you, and you get the comment thing going back and forth, then you might add them to the circles, and then you're going to follow them more specifically, and then you're off and running. And then there is no more ghost town, I promise you. It is a busy place.
So it is it's really an intimate connection then, is what you're saying, because you want to find out, you're finding out about the people. It's not like other social media platforms where you just like, follow. Well, you check that out too, but it's much more,
intimate. Yeah. If I do a high level thing, we'll let the talk about the elephant in the room. Facebook versus Google Plus. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Facebook, in my mind, is about who you know. Okay, and Google Plus is about what you know, and therein lies the key difference. So if you come into Google Plus looking for who you know, you might be disappointed because they may not be here. But if you come in looking for what you know or what you want to know about, you will find the who behind the what. And then you will build an incredibly engaging environment of people that you've never knew before all over the world that enjoy the same things you do, and now all of a sudden you start to know who they are. But it starts out with what they are talking about.
Awesome. Miss Deborah, you have a question?
Yes, I had a question, and when you go to add people to your circles, I just wondered, what's the etiquette for acquaintances, friends, circles? And circles obviously is for what we're doing, but what is the etiquette as far as adding people to circles?
I'm not sure I fully understand the question, so I'm going to guess.
Well, when I go to, say I find someone that I do know on Facebook,
yes,
and they are a friend of mine on Facebook, I'll put them in my friend circle.
Okay.
But someone that I'm meeting, like, anybody new that I'm not real familiar with, do I just put acquaintance?
Okay, you use the word etiquette, and I've got a post all about etiquette, and this is not etiquette. This is your personal preference. In other words, you make your circles to be what you want. So an idea that you could think about is checking them out. You know, make a circle called checking them out. You add people to that, and until you're comfortable with them, you don't know where else to put them. They're just in your checking them out circle.
Okay.
And then you can move them from that once they become a friend, or they talk about style or whatever it is that you've made another circle for. You can add them to that and take them out of the checking them out circle if you like.
You can move them around. I like that.
Yeah, you can move them around. In fact, they can be in multiple circles.
And Deborah, the thing is, they don't know they're in the checking me out
I was
circle.
just going to ask you that question.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
They
like,
don't know
well,
that.
it's, they're in like not such a great.
Very, very important point that you bring up. When you make your circles whatever name you want, you could say interesting things about them if you wanted to. They'd have no clue because the name of the circle is not visible to anybody but you.
Okay.
And when they are removed from a circle, they don't even know that. So it's not like you need to be worried about them watching you and what you do in your circle area. That is totally private to you only.
So they don't know what circle they're in.
Nope.
No.
And they don't know if you uncircle them, like you can't be defriended and feel bad.
Not really. I mean, there are ways to figure it out for the geeky ones, but most people have no clue.
Okay. Thank you.
That's awesome. So I have one. So you say GooTube Plus, right? What does so you take video and Google Plus and you put them together. In what does that mean to the person that would come to you for, private help or whatever like that?
Sure. GooTube Plus came about with the idea that I was seeing the integration happening more and more between Google, YouTube, and Google Plus. And when I say Google, that's google.com, that's search, because that's sort of where I came from.
Okay.
And so when all the stuff mishmashes together, that's where I came up with the name GooTube Plus. And it's how all of these are becoming one, almost. So when I make activity happen on YouTube, I can make it visible on Google Plus or vice versa. And they're bringing more and more of the stuff out. I mean, even in a couple of days, December 3rd, there's going to be a massive change to YouTube. They're taking the site down in a certain area where, in fact, if you're going to do Hangouts, here's an alert: don't do it on the 3rd in the evening, okay? Because it's not going to work. But there's going to be some new integrations that are allowing you to do special things from YouTube that interact directly with Google Plus and vice versa. And this has been going on for the entire year plus that I've been here. And so it's just an area that I pay special attention to when it changes.
How do you keep up with all this?
It's tricky.
Your
I've made
full-time
some. It is my full-time job. I've made some special connections, so I actually have people at YouTube now that I can talk to, which is amazing.
Wow.
I have people at Google I can talk to. So this is something I never could have done before Google Plus, honestly.
Wow. That's
I
awesome.
I have a few questions, Miss Rosie.
Yes, Miss Andy.
Well, first of all, when I joined Google Plus like we all did a year ago when they said, "Oh, go run over," and I was confused, frankly. But so when I came back, a wonderful woman out of Hawaii, I think her name is Linda Sherman, she sent over to me, she goes, "Look, you're here, here's my circle of people." And she dumped them on me, and I said, "Great." But I didn't know what to do with all of them. I mean, I've got them in a circle, and I call them, and I have a great time calling circles all sorts of names. You make my heart sing, fired up and ready to go, Google Plus Goddesses.
Of course you do.
But now, so there's that, the circles, that's great, I've got them now. And yeah, I noticed that they were automatically added to my circle, and then some of them started coming back and adding me back, which was cool. But I want to talk a little bit about the engagement stuff, and also why do you think it's, your future's going to be fine. You're really going to be the next Mari Smith for Google Plus, seriously. And but I just think why is it that folks have not wanted to come over right away? Because there's a huge world out there. Google is the water of the internet, so to speak. But I'm not seeing the population here, especially among the women, And so I'd love to know why you think that has been going on. Why it's
I'm
taking so long.
yeah, I can guess. It's a pretty educated guess, but I don't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
My educated guess is that they are either reading the tech press, which says it's a ghost town, don't come, nobody's here. And by the way, those people are kind of idiots that say that. But I'm okay with that because right now we here are establishing a strong foothold before other people can get in or before other people join. So it's a double-edged sword. You do want people to interact with, but at the same time, if you're sort of the big fish in a little pond, you have more capability to grow there. The other part is, besides reading the tech press, let's say you don't do that, you are probably thinking, I want to go where my friends are. And if your friends aren't there yet, and you're not of the mindset that I'm going to go out and make new friends, then Google Plus might seem a little scary to you, even if you understand it to that degree. You might not even know that it's the place to come when you want to find people that like boas, right? Or you want to find people that like sleeping naked, right? So the various things that you guys have in your interests realm is what you need to be looking for or looking at and searching for. And so if you don't do that, or you don't have that mindset to go about and do that, then you might be afraid to do it, or you might not even try.
Yeah.
Plus, people are so busy joining another social networking.
It's overwhelming, right?
It's overwhelming.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And Andy, just so you know, you as a person disappeared, so you might
Yes.
want to invite yourself back in from the page as a person, and then come back.
I hope you're blue boxing. And by blue boxing, you might as well say what that is. See, you have all these names. You have green room, you have blue boxing, which I had never really, I didn't even know those terms. Are they made up by you, or is that Google Plus lingo?
It is sort of a mixture. I've been on Google Plus for a while, as you guys know, and I embraced Hangouts right from the get-go when they first came out, when I was able to get in. And the terminology, I checked and reached out to the Googlers as best I could, and I asked them, well, what do you call this thing? And they go, what do you call it? I was like, no, I asked you first. And so we went back and forth a little. They don't necessarily have official names for this stuff.
Right.
And so when people gather together in an environment where before they go live in the broadcasting world, they call that a green room. And
well, you said that, you said when we get in the green room, and me and Angie are like, what the hell's a green room? we always hung out before we went live, but we didn't know that was a green room, but it makes sense. And then the blue boxing, too, makes perfect sense, because whoever you click on, the person that's running the broadcast, which is Andy, right? I'm leading it, but Andy's facilitating the...
She's kind of like the producer role is the official name.
So her job is to click on the person that's speaking, and there's a blue box that goes around them, and then that's who's going to show up on the top screen. So hopefully she's watching whoever's speaking, and those are the people that will go up on the top.
Yeah. Now let me give you a heads up on that. She doesn't have to do that. That's her choice. The Hangout itself will let whoever's talking become the main focus in the main window, all by itself. But you, as a producer, might want to control who is visible, because you can have me blue boxed and Rosie can be asking me a question, but I'm still visible. So it just depends on how you want to control the visuals inside the show.
The person, so Andy has, YouTube will do it automatically, but she can override anything that they would do by putting the blue box.
She can, in this kind of environment, because this is a Hangout on air versus a regular Hangout. On a regular Hangout, nobody has any more control over anyone else. But on a Hangout on air, which is what we're in right now, that's live broadcast, the person that originated the show is in charge. They have the ability to blue box for the public. Now, just another tip for those of us inside, down here in the film strip area, we don't see who she's blue boxing. We get to see whoever's talking.
And you could keep yourself up there if you want to, just to see.
Yeah, you can blue box yourself, right? You can blue box yourself, and you can see your own view, but that's not what the public sees. The public sees what the Hangout host has selected, or what is automatically happening with the auto switching.
So that's only Hangout on air. A regular Hangout, even the person that does the inviting to the Hangout does not have control over that?
Correct.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
A regular hangout is what Chi-Chu, who's the guy sort of that is behind the scenes and all this stuff. He's the real Yoda. Chi-Chu has said the regular hangouts, he didn't want anyone to have any more control over anyone else. So that's what it is.
Wow.
And in my mind, that came from his 10-year-old experience, which is very interesting, but we don't have time to go into all those details.
Does anyone have any other questions for Ronnie? Before I ask him, I do have one last one if everyone else is done. We don't hear you, Andy.
Andy, you have to unmute yourself. Remember the upper right microphone thingy.
Okay, hi.
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 Oh my goodness.
Andy, you're having a whirlwind of a time today.
I tell you.
It's funny, you got kicked out once as a page and then kicked out once as a person. Or profile.
There must be a little ghostly action in the room I'm in. Oh, good. Oh, good. Deborah's back in. Let me just fix Deborah because I have responsibilities here.
Yeah. So this is a good teachable moment for a second. When the producer is here, the producer's doing a lot of things, and there is a reason to have someone help you do a hangout because there's a lot of stuff going on, and we're not even necessarily looking at all the comments out there. We haven't even talked about that part.
I've been checking.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, it would be really hard for Angie to be talking and running the interview and doing all this at the same time. It would be. They really do need to have two people.
I do it, but I'm super nerdy. So.
Well, you're super Yoda. You can do it, but
that'll be a good question. When we have, I'm up front and center. Great. When we have Yifat on the 14th, because she handles all these things separately.
She does.
So my other question is, how do we encourage more people to do Hangouts? Because a lot of people are still nervous about the video.
Yeah.
And speaking extemporaneously like we are right now, and
showing their face,
being live, etc. So what advice do you have for that?
What I would do is advising people for Hangouts is I would say join one. And you don't need to talk much, just sort of show up. And when someone invites you to talk, then do it. Until then, there is a special area inside the Hangout called a chat window, which you may not know because you've never joined a Hangout. But the chat window allows you to type. You can type away and interact with people inside the Hangout that no one else sees outside the Hangout by chatting. And I would not, if I were new to this, I would not join a Hangout on air at first. I would join regular Hangouts, the ones that when you join them, you just get to come in. Yeah.
Oh,
and again, Andy, you're gonna have to come back in. There we go. Yeah.
There we go. There she.
You get a lot.
Now, actually, that looks good. Just to leave it there. A
lot more efficient. Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, I didn't know I did that, Rosie.
Well, that looks good because that logo's up there.
Well, right now the camera's not working, which is why the logo's showing.
Is that bad?
Not necessarily.
That doesn't mean it's not streaming to YouTube, though.
No, it doesn't not mean that it's not. There's a lot of double negatives there. Yeah, it's probably working. Let's go look at the.
I'm looking at it right now. We all look divine.
Do we? Okay.
There you go.
I just have a big black spot in the middle, but I'll take care of that.
This is interesting to just point out that running from a page right now seems still a little. This is interesting. Yeah, sorry, I just was checking myself. Yep, we're here. We're live. Hi. We disappeared for a little while, but we're back. In fact, this will be a fun one to watch, won't it?
It will be great.
You're just popping in and out. But one of the things is from the day that we talked to you a couple days ago to have the interview, Andy and I have been going through every possible thing that could go wrong, pretty much. And we shared a lot of the videos where we left YouTube up while we were trying to talk, and it reverberated, and it
got all those echoes, right?
And we just had really a lot of fun with it, though, and we just kept on until we figured out what it was.
Right.
And then we consulted with the, Yoda guru person, and you told us what exactly was wrong, and we had kind of figured that out, and then we made an invite, and we had to learn how to do that. So there's a lot of little steps, but the thing is, I think you'll agree with me, Andy, as you do them and you just experience them, you say, oh, well, then it becomes easier and easier. So this platform is like, to me, we fell in love with it the first time we went on. We were like, oh my God, we couldn't even sleep that night. We were like so excited to do something with it because it's fabulous and fun. And the interaction of seeing someone, like meeting someone here, it's so different than just like emailing them.
Right.
So I
And
never would have known Todd Smith's face. Now, like if I see him walking down the street, I feel like,
right. And here's what one of the things I think that's magical about the relationships you create when you're doing a hangout. You make a connection with people because of the visual aspect of a hangout. And those connections stick with you
yes.
they're much more sticky, if you want to use a marketing term, than any other connection you can make, in my mind. And so as a result, I think Hangouts is their primary connectivity tool for Google+.
Awesome. So we have, we usually do, since we're done pretty much with your questions, Ronnie, does anybody have an aha moment, that something that happened this week that's really aha for them in, in business? So you're like, oh my God, wow. Does anybody want to share that?
I got one.
All right. You're up.
The
Blue
aha
box
moment,
them, Andy.
the aha moment came when, and this has been promised for a little while, but it just started rolling out yesterday. So this is sort of up, last second thing, is YouTube has these things called annotations. And what an annotation is where you can stick a box next to you, and you can say, go click on that thing. And then when they click on it, you can make people jump right off of your YouTube video onto, for example, your Google Plus profile. And that's kind of new. And for some people, that's a aha, you didn't even know that. They're about to make it so you can jump over. They're about to make it so you can jump over to a Google Plus page, which is pretty cool, but that's not out yet. But what happened yesterday is the mother of all annotation links. What happened yesterday, I never expected to ever happen. And what that is you can, with enough magic mojo juice, set up things so that when you click on that thing over there, you put a little icon there, and you make it so they can click on it, it will jump them off of your YouTube video, you ready? Onto your website, and onto whatever page on your website you want.
Nice.
That is massive, massive.
That's really, that is really an hallelujah. So let me ask you this, that could lead us into a tip. How, because I'm like all over YouTube. How do you do that? Because you never allowed to do that before.
You were never allowed to do that. I've been posting about it for a while, so go check out my circles.
So where would we check out that blog post of how to do it?
One thing I post a lot on when I'm in Google Plus is I post a lot on YouTube stuff. And so I've got what's called a hashtag, and that's a whole other world of things. A hashtag is with a little pound symbol, and then I type in YouTube tips. I don't try to make it too complex. So if you were to search for the hashtag YouTube tips in Google Plus, you will see a ton of my posts. And within that is where you'll find that. And Rosie's gone. So in and out. But anyways, it's technically called it's called an annotation link, and you could search for that, or you could just circle Ronnie, because I'm going to be talking about it for the next 5 weeks probably. It's just brand new. In fact, it's not working for me quite yet, but a blog that I help discover these things is called Real SEO, REEL SEO.com.
Okay.
They do a phenomenal job talking about video online, and
Wonderful.
and they made a nice post on it yesterday. They thanked me for pointing it out to them, and we're constantly in contact with each other.
Yay. Well, okay, I'm going to just jump in now, because this is why it's always good to have co-hosts.
Yeah.
We're at the point where we like to wrap up these videos and these wonderful hangouts, because you've shared a tremendous amount of information today, Ronnie. And folks need to get back to work and start implementing a lot of the things. So I want everybody to please go follow Ronnie Binceer. Check out his gootubeclus.com/masterclass, and be sure to subscribe not only to Possibility Partners, please, 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 on YouTube, and circle us, please, 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 but
and
also
give thumbs up and +1s and reshare and comment and all the good social stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just get really engaged here, and we will absolutely share the love right back at you. But I can't thank you enough, Ronnie, for doing such a tremendous job in. I tell people you are a trainer, and you're trained as a trainer, which means when you impart information, It is awesome. And here I come, Rosie. I'm going to get you on. There we go. And the information you share is just actionable. It's understandable. And I know I'm thrilled about today because everybody learned from even more snafus that can happen. And we all stayed cool and calm under pressure. We
Teachable moments.
Right. And we, as Rosie and I always say, keep the cameras rolling.
Yeah, I have a question for you. So I saw only myself. I was still animated. Everyone else was frozen. Did anyone hear me, or was I totally out?
No, you went you went bye-bye.
Wow.
That's what happened to me when I got kicked out.
Yeah, I saw everyone else just, I still thought I was talking to you. Damn it.
Yeah.
I said some good stuff.
I'm sure you did. And the catch is you don't necessarily know that you're not, you don't know that you're not being seen until basically you wonder why nobody said anything, or you see yourself frozen, or you disappear, kind of thing.
So, Ronnie, is there a lot of glitches that Google Plus needs to clean up, or is this always going to be like? I mean, does this kind of thing happen often in a?
It doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. And just for people out there, I have connections within the Hangout community. So if you are having a lot of problems, let me know about it, and I will move it on up the ladder so we can get it resolved.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for that.
Well, I think.
Hey, Rosie, Andy, I got a question. I got a comment for both of you.
Thanks.
Andy, you were mentioning that nobody's really knowing about Google Plus, and it's kind of a foreign land. But just keep this in mind. You know, it took Facebook 3 years to get to 25 million users. It's Google Plus for Business has been out since last November, and they have over 100 million users. So it's still, Ronnie will attest to this, it's still foreign, it's still early foundational ground, but it's good that you guys are involved in it now, because women will start to get more involved as you guys get more involved. And so it's a great platform for you're in the, they're going to be in the rowboats, but you're going to be in the cruise ship further down the road.
Well, we're in love with it. I mean, I'm like totally in love with it. I mean, just having a ball. I mean,
well, what's going to happen is you're going to engage in people that don't currently know you even exist, and that's what Ronnie's talking about earlier. You'll be able to search for folks who, like, I got you in my BOA circle already.
Wow! Wait, hold on, Todd. We need to know. You need an accessory, Todd. I mean, you can't just come with your gorgeous self. I mean, you can, but
He has a beautiful Christmas tree behind him.
you do have a beautiful. Oh, yeah.
All right, he's running off doing that. So let me give you guys a tip or suggestion, because you're seeing, or you're feeling like you're here alone. This would be the suggestion I gave to my wife.
Nice.
You've got the scarf action going on.
Oh man, I ordered my boa today, so it's coming. I'll have it next week.
Wow, what is that? Let's look at that, Todd.
Beautiful, beautiful scarf.
That is
My wife's.
Oh,
I got to be part of the BOA group.
there you go. Love it.
So I don't leave everybody hanging there, I was going to suggest make a circle of the people that you find are the most engaging in the woman world, and make that available to the new people that come, because then when they come, you can say, hey, if you want to engage with other like-minded women, add all these people to your circles, and you'll be, bam, right in the middle of it, and we'll be off and running. So
I will share my Google Plus Goddess circle with anybody, any woman.
And if you become sort of the curator of those people, then when people come and they say, hey, if you're not getting yourself added into these guys' circle, you're nowhere, so you need to get into their circle, then you become sort of the go-to gals to allow people to start interacting with them, and then you become famous.
Yay!
It's awesome.
Wonderful. Okay, well.
Don't discount the men. Don't discount the men, because like,
You love men, are you kidding, Todd? Really?
if I'm not in your circle, I wouldn't know to tell my wife about your circle.
There you go.
That's
Right.
true.
That's right.
That's
Spread the word, Todd.
Yeah, good one, Todd.
Let's wrap this puppy up.
Yes, ma'am. So I just want to talk 1 second about what Possibility Partners, again, is just where we connect and we support you and we share with you all these tips, tools, and resources. You are not alone. There is everyone else out there living their purpose, you know, doing their dream. No matter how old you are, whatever stage you are, you can do whatever you want.
Yay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Miss Deborah, for being here. Thank
Always.
you, Todd, for joining us.
Thank you,
And our
Todd.
featured guest,
Nice to meet you.
Yoda of Google Plus, Mr. GooTube Plus himself, Ronnie Bincer. You know, Ronnie, you have a wonderful reputation out there, and what everybody says is true. You're kind, you're generous, and you really,
You're a
really know what you're
teacher.
talking about.
You're a teacher, you're a giver, and all of the links to all of your sites are going to be right below. And hopefully
Fantastic.
people will go into your master class and really learn from you and follow you and circle you, and let's embrace everyone, and all of the links are below. And
Yeah. And just one last little word. If you do sign up for the masterclass thing, there's no high pressure. I am not a pressure guy. So what you do when you sign up, you get a free link to an interactive PDF document. It's got 11 of my most popular posts that really will help you engage very quickly and feel much more comfortable. So if you just do it for that, just go for it.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right.
Okay, everybody, signing off, waving, bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. And then Rosie, bye.
Well,
Ending broadcast.